Hello there. Hello. We are live back with another edition of Goose Troop. With me, as always, is the lovely Cindy. Say hi, Cindy.
Hello.
And he's not incognito today. He is just Carl.
Had to lose the shades. I'm incognito no more.
Yeah. The protection plan worked.
It
When you went
did,
under
yeah.
the protection plan.
Right. The danger zone is over. Get out of the Logan's danger zone.
I think
Call
these
back.
days you just run from the kids, don't you? You kind of
Yeah.
try to find a good hiding spot from the kiddos.
I guess so, perhaps.
How's it working so far? Good afternoon, Diane. Good afternoon, Diane's in the chat room.
Yeah.
Where is
So-
Diane from? Actually, is she from the Springfield area, or is she? Where's the
She's
lovely
from
Diane?
heaven.
Oh,
Lovely
that's-
Diane. She
it's
is an
true.
angel, huh? She is an angel. Thank you, Victor. See what I'm saying? Like Victor keeps following us, and I don't know. Am I a little soft today, guys? Am I too soft today?
No, you sound good to me.
Okay.
I hear you very
Fine.
still and clear.
The lovely Christina is in the chat room as well. Hello. She promised me she'd be nice today going forward. At least, how promises go, but we'll see. All right, today on the show, guys, I want to talk about restaurants critiques that Cindy and I had researched and did some research, right, Cindy? Because we kind of we go out, do our dinners as such, right? Not as often lately, but we have. So today I want to do some restaurant critiques. If we talk,
I am never invited and very upset about my non-invites.
I've invited some of your employees, though,
You
Vic.
two are racist.
Racist. Victor, I'm a Latin guy. How could I be racist against other Latin guys? Anyways, all right. So, and then I want to do some critiquing, Cindy. If you got your story or two, I know that you're going to do one good one bad one, right? You mentioned that you're going to do one.
No,
good one.
I changed it. It's going to be two good ones.
Oh, awesome. Okay, then I'll do the bad ones. Then I'll switch over
I,
to the bad.
I wasn't in the mood to do bad today, so I'm going to do good.
All right. Well, then I'll do a good one then, because I got one good one bad one. So either way, and then on with Carl's segment today, we're going to have him start off by doing a segment today, which I'm really, really interested in, sir, in seeing how you do with this and see where you go with it in the weeks to come, which is giving us like a behind the scenes type, behind the music rather, of bands or artists or and I give you free range. It could be local, it could be someone we all know. And like I said, I got one as well that I'm very that I have been a fan of for years. Have you guys ever heard of? Obviously, you probably have. John. He used to go by Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh, yeah.
John Mellencamp. I was doing one today on John Mellencamp.
I'm
So
excited.
yeah, I am too. I like that guy a lot. I loved his music growing up. It just
I like
kind of
it.
hit me.
I like whenever we talk about artists and then we explore our favorites from the highlights, our personal highlights. It's great.
Yeah,
I have
No.
a question.
yeah.
Are you going to let that grow out? Are you going to try and CZ Top or
Can't
what's
let it
going
go
on?
any further. This is maximum length. I'm told that there's no, once it gets into a ponytail type of situation, it's going to be gone completely. So
I think he's in a Star Trek episode and he's evil Carl.
And that's why he was incognito. You might be onto something there, Vic. You might be onto something.
He's
Hey, Brent,
evil Carl.
Brent's in the chat room, everyone. Say hello to Brent. Thanks for
Hello,
joining us,
Brent.
sir. I see Carl doesn't look like weed smoking Brian from the Breakfast Club.
now I understand it was mainly a function of the shades.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, guys. How has your week's been? I've always asked you how your week has been. How has your week has been? And were you guys able to enjoy that beautiful weather yesterday?
Yeah, today and yesterday have been very nice. I think a little windy today, but
Windy, rainy, not as nice as it was yesterday. Yesterday felt like a really nice spring day. Like what was it, 60 something yesterday? Oh, so nice yesterday. I know I got out myself. I had my brother and his granddaughter and his son came over and we grilled out yesterday. So we enjoyed a nice little day, kind of an impromptu visit from them, and which was really nice. And
That's-
then I grilled out a little bit,
Ooh.
and then I went out and I did, in fact, buy 2 dog bowls and a dog bed for the lovely Jill and her organization, wildcaninerescue.org.
It's magnificent.
I did because I know Cindy and I were planning on doing that and donating it in the name of
Sorry.
Goose Troop. So
Amazing.
I know
We
Cindy
see
was.
which one of you actually went through with your donation.
Cindy probably did. I'm
I
guessing.
know who drank the money.
I also went out yesterday and got 2 dog beds and 2 dog bowls, and the place where we're supposed to drop them off was closed. So I don't know if I'll get over there today, but if not, I'll go tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
can I give you my stuff, or do you just want me to drop them off? I can drop them off after work or something. So I don't know that they open till like 9 o'clock, and I'm already at work. So I'm
they
already
open at 8 o'clock.
Oh,
open
do
at 8
they open at 8? I thought it was 9. Okay, if they open at 8, I can make it there before work. Sure.
Yeah.
Make it there before
Bet she'll
work.
take credit for the stuff you bought, Goose. I wouldn't drop it off to anyone else.
Well, it's in the name of Goose Troop. We told.
She'll take the tax refund for the things you bought. I need my tax refund.
Over 2 dog bowls. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't Victor have something to do today? Really?
Cindy loves
Yeah.
me.
She does.
Yes, I love Victor.
Boy. Why in the world would you love a guy like that?
Somebody's got to love
Vic-
Victor Goose.
Somebody needs love.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Even
are
the
we-
victors of the world.
Together, are we writing a song now? Is that what this is? The 3 of us are writing a song as we speak now.
I think so.
Mm.
All righty, fellas. If you want to get started, we can get started with some of the topics we got today. We are once again having Cindy do a critique of her restaurants that she and I visited, or maybe she visited with some of her friends and family. And then and then I'll do one. Cindy, if you'll go first, and then I'll do mine, and then of the restaurant critiques, and hopefully Carl can join in and possibly maybe give a story of a restaurant critique outside of the pizza delivery box fiasco. Outside of that, and then we will jump into the music industry as we are maybe perhaps continuing to write our song, the 3 of us. So far, we got Everyone Needs Love. That's might be good.
Everyone needs love.
Victor, the only thing you love is money and your sausage factory.
Everyone needs love.
He only loves money and sausage factories. That's it.
But if you love no one, then you're one. But everyone needs love.
Did you get stuck there?
Thank you.
All right, Bubba's in the chat room. Good afternoon, Bubba. Corey's in the chat room.
Corey.
Corey.
Hi, guys.
Christina, Brent, Diane, and who else? Who else am I missing? Okay. All right, guys. If we want to get started, then we'll go on to Carl's. I really have been excited about your segment, sir.
Oh, thank you,
I
sir.
have been waiting for weeks for this, actually.
Very excited about your segment as well, sir.
Oh, thank you. But both of us, Cindy and I, are kind of wondering who you picked as the artist or the band or what have you. We were both kind of like, I wonder what he would go with.
I bet he picked Starland Vocal Band.
That's an interesting choice. I could have done that. Certainly.
I've never heard of that band. But anyways.
Afternoon Delight.
Oh, they sing Afternoon Delight. Oh, okay. Everything Victor references is like set in the 60s or the 70s.
Well,
Best decade.
it's a classic era, There's a lot of great music from the 60s
That's
and the
when I got the
70s.
most snatch.
Thank you, Victor. Not that type of show. Not that type of show, Victor.
Was he like Steve? Like started at 14 or what? You know,
Oh, good God. Not that type of show, Cindy. Not that type of
I
show.
know, but I know how old Ray is. If it's 60s and 70s, that's what the age would be. So
Well, we're talking about
I'd be
Victor.
around that age.
We're talking about Victor, not Ray Ray.
Well, I don't know how Victor is, but I'm sure they're close in age.
Are you? They look a lot alike.
They look a lot, very similar.
All
How
righty.
dare you?
All righty, Cindy. If you would start off, you want me to start off, or do you want to start off with yours?
You can go first.
Okay. My segment on the critiquing of the restaurant. Okay, which I hope we don't have the same one, but
We
mine
don't.
is always my favorite restaurant, as you two know. You are well aware. What is my favorite restaurant that I always take the nice dates?
Mariah's.
Mariah's Steakhouse.
I
Okay.
just met a girl named Mariah.
Thank you, Victor. Everyone needs love, Victor. But good luck trying to find yours.
Mariah needs love too.
Mariah does. I
All
believe.
she needs, all she wants for Christmas.
Yeah. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? Especially our buddy Bruce.
That's a great callback.
Did we ever show that, Cindy? Did we ever show that video of Bruce doing his little dancing in the office?
Twice.
Did we? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
On Goose Troop.
You should have sent that video to Cindy. Let her watch the whole thing. That'd have been awesome. You should have sent that
I'll
to
work on
Cindy. That could still happen. But
Wait,
all right, so mine is Mariah's Steakhouse, where I took a date, a recent date, and by chance I'm actually still talking to this woman. I don't know why she's still talking to me, but I am. So okay, it was I think our second date we went on, and we hello Dan's in the chat room. Hello Dano. But so I took her on the second date, right? And the first date was kind of odd. It's always odd. First date's always odd. And then the second date, we went there. Okay, so my critique of this, I'd actually critique the date and the restaurant. She was at first, she was kind of very, like, not shy, but a little standoffish, a little guarded, I would say. She was kind of guarded, right? As you do, I guess. But then I was opening up with jokes and telling her, like about the podcast that we do. And then she said she would listen, and then she ended up listening that night and told me that she liked it. She said she liked Cindy and myself. She goes, the third guy, who's that guy? She was kind of like, that guy he should just remain incognito.
She said, I need more sunglasses.
Yeah.
She seen the show.
She watched it. Yeah, she liked it. She said she really liked it. And I asked her if she would come on to talk about her perspective of the date. And so I was like, yeah, I can have you come on and talk about your perspective of the date and see how it went. But do not listen to anything in the chat room, and do not listen to anything my co-host would have to say. And you could come on. Especially one that way.
It's going to crop us out, Cindy.
That way. All right, guys. So I'm going to start off by saying at Mariah's, okay, we walk in, and you initially agreed.
What you watching now? Huh? Should she be watching now?
Well, she's at work now. She watches them at night. She listens and watches them at night, she said. And then we talk at night when she's off work. We kind of Goose, that's a horrible idea.
Did you fart during this date?
Dude, let's just say I almost met a superhero that night. I'll just say that.
Oh my God!
I almost met a superhero that night. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. I almost.
Puts it in the park. What's the superhero park spot?
Huh? What's that? I missed that. What was that, guys?
Parking lot superhero. Parking.
The ironic thing is, we were talking in the parking lot when I almost met this superhero. That's the ironic part.
Your body knew where it was. This was the area we were supposed to go.
Because I was walking her out to her car. But anyways, and then we were talking, and then she was telling me she was telling me a story about how a bird hit her one of her headlights, her right front headlight, her passenger headlight, and I go, I don't see how a bird would do that. Anyways, but I was like, anyways, okay, all right. So we go in. We're initially greeted by two different people. One is the owner's daughter, na- who's named for the restaurant after the restaurant, or the restaurant is named after her rather. Is Mariah greets us and she recognizes me. I've been in there several times and I know her. And then I'm also greeted by the gentleman who's like the busser and who's like the well, anyways, I was greeted by two different people, and they recognized me and said hello, and we exchanged pleasantries. So initially, right there, I felt like comfortable. I felt comfortable as soon as I walked in the door, and that to me says a lot when people greet you in a certain way, or if they just said, "Oh," because sometimes you go to a restaurant and they always just go, "How many?" It's like, okay, that's not really a greeting. You're just basically treating me like a number. Okay. Next, please. Next, please. Is how you feel sometimes when you walk into a restaurant. It's like, how many? And they just seat you. They kind of just throw the menus down, but that's not what they do. And then, to be honest, the gentleman, he's such a gentleman. He pulled out the chair for her because I try to do that myself. I try or take her coat or whatever. I try to be a gentleman. I try because I think it's very romantic, very nice to do. Although some women don't appreciate that. I've noticed some women do not appreciate. What is it called? Chivalry.
Chivalry.
Yes, some women do not appreciate. Are you a fan of that, Cindy? Are you a fan of chivalry? Guys who are
Sure.
gentlemanly.
Yeah.
Okay. How about guys that always show up late when you're supposed to go to dinner with them? Fan of that?
Not so much.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That pesky work. Anyway, so initially, as I walk into the restaurant, right at Mariah's Steakhouse,
It's important that they.
what's that?
It's important they show up.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Yes. So, but she had beaten me there because we were going to meet after work on Saturday, Carl. As you know, I don't get off till 6, and then sometimes I stay a little bit later, or sometimes I give Bruce a ride home or whatever. So,
Another good deed.
is it a good deed? You
Yeah.
have conversations with Bruce one-on-one in your car, do you?
I haven't yet, but I'm bound to at some point in my life.
I don't know if you want that, but okay. I don't know if that's such a good deed, but anyways, so I make it there around 6:40 thereabouts, and she's already there because I told her around 6:30 ish I'll be there. But then so I made it around 6:40, and I was a little bit late. But then she was staying at the front door, and when I walked in, she was there, and we greeted each other with a hug and said hello, But immediately after that, as soon as we walked in the door and we greeted each other, they greeted us, and they greeted us in such a nice way. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you again, Goose. How are you doing? And so that made me feel really comfortable. And right there, I think that would make her feel. I didn't really ask her, but I think that would make her feel comfortable as well. Hey, he knows them. They know him, right? And we've been greeted. And then when they sat us, the gentleman pulled out the chair for her. And I was like, hey, man, that's kind of like my job, dude. What are you doing? That's how I felt. I know that she was flattered because she said thank you, because I took her coat and then he pulled out the chair for her. I'm like, I was kind of feeling like, okay, who's on this date, dude? You and me. But anyway, so then we sat down, right? And as soon as we sat down, the waiter and here's what I've noticed is they had 3 different waiters on this side of the on that side of the restaurant because there's 2 sides to the restaurant. Actually, there's 3 sections, 3 different sections in that restaurant, and a 4th if you count the upstairs that they have. But that's not used often. It's used for like bookings of parties or whatever.
Okay.
And so anyways, there's 3 different restaurants, and the waiter comes to and goes, "Can I take your drink?" Go to guy, welcome to Mariah's, and he also said, "Welcome to Mariah's," which I thought was really nice. And I was like, because I feel that is lost. And then they came and I said, "Can I offer you guys some water, bread to start off with?" And we said, "Yeah, sure." Let's some more bread and some water. They gave us, and immediately, and another person gave us the water and bread, and then and then shortly after that, we were looking through our menu. And then the actual waiter comes to our table and he then says, he goes, "Guys, I'm your waiter. I'll be, so-and-so, and I'll be waiting on you tonight." He goes, "If there's anything you need, I'm going to give you some time to look over the menu. I know there's a lot to choose from." And then he walked away, and he came back, I would say a few minutes later, giving us some time. because we had bread, we had water, we were talking. So we have something in front of us right there. Instantly, I felt, hey, I got something in front of me. I got 4 different people waiting on me as soon as I walked into the door. They pulled out the chair for her. They greeted us. I would say that is the best greeting I've ever received at any restaurant. To say, come sit at our, come at dinner at our restaurant. I would say that was the best I've ever received. So far, so good, right? Would you say, guys? So far, so good.
So far, better than any restaurant I've been to as far as greetings and such.
Yeah, it's like okay. So then the actual waiter comes back to us and he gives us a few minutes, to look it over. And at that time, I was like, "Have you decided on what you want?" And I always let the woman order first. That's always nice, right? It's always polite, right, Cindy, to let the woman order first.
Mhm.
And because I see that, and I'm always like, "That's kind of rude. You just ordering and like you didn't even ask if she was ready. Like you didn't even ask if she was ready."
What if you ask her what she would like and then you order for her?
Oh, I don't dare do that. I don't know if I got. I don't know if I got the.
That's okay.
It is okay. Do you like that, Cindy? If I
If
say,
you're paying, you can order both meals, but only if you're paying.
She'll just take the bread and the water.
Like the woman can order both meals because she pays when she goes out with me.
Oh, must be nice. How often do you go out, Vic? Other than watching
7 nights a week. Thank you.
How many nights did he say?
Who knows? Don't have him back on.
They said eight
7 nights a week.
You're inviting him back on, guys. Why do you do that?
Women
Why do you
invite me to meals because I'm so handsome and fulfilling.
Yeah, I bet, Victor. I bet. Anyway, so okay. So then we go in order, and I let her order first. I said, "Hey, what would you like?" I go, "Have you decided? And have you decided on what you want to eat tonight?" And so she goes, "Yeah, I think I have." And she orders a pasta dish, right? And along with a steak.
That's a pro move.
It is a pro move. I would say,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get a free meal out of it, why not? Why not go big? And I did see where there was surf and turf, and I even had the conversation about surf and turf.
She's eating a lot for a first date, I'll tell you that.
That second date, but okay, Victor.
My women are not them big eaters. They like kids menu things.
Thank you, Victor. Kids menu.
Things.
So
Happy
after you
meal.
go through the drive-up, getting the McDonald's meal,
Happy Meal, Victor, and the
Happy Meal.
and the 4
Oh my
nuggets,
God.
or Wendy's, or whatever you get. All right. So then, so right there,
Happy to
it
hear
was
about
off
the
the
surf and
great.
turf.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm so happy to hear about the surf and turf talk.
There was
Great.
surf. Are you really? Okay, there
Proud
was
of you.
surf and turf there, but neither one of us liked surf and turf of the choice they have. So I had a conversation with her, and I asked her. I said, "What do you consider surf and turf?" After we had ordered. So she placed her meal. I'll get to that part. So she placed her meal. She placed her order, and then I placed mine. And then, So then immediately after, I'm telling you, and then another waiter that initially gave us the water came back with our salads, like immediately came back with our salads and asked if we wanted more warm bread. And then I asked her, I said, "Well, if you want more warm bread, then please." I asked her if she wanted more. And she's, "No, I think I'm doing fine." I said, "I am too." And so we ate our salads, but I talked about surf and turf with her, a conversation. And I was like, "What do you consider surf and turf?" I go, "We talked about surf and turf on the show." And she said that she listened to it and she heard it. And she agrees with me. She said she agreed with me. Well, I didn't even say my opinion of it because she had heard the show. So I didn't really need to say my opinion of it or what I thought.
The surf
She
and turf
heard the
show?
Yeah, she listened to it.
Oh,
And she said, she goes, "I kind of agree with you." She goes, "Because if you're saying turf is anything on land," she goes, "then maybe I'm feeling like a hot dog or a hamburger. Maybe I'm not feeling like a steak. Maybe it's a pork steak that I want, or maybe it's chicken." She goes, "So that comes from a land." So and then she goes, "If you're saying anything from the sea," and she goes, "it's a body of water. Does it matter whether it's salt water or fresh water?" She goes, "It's from a body of water, so it's surf." So she's like, so she agreed with me, and I was like, "Thank you, finally someone who gets it."
If she wants to eat a pork chop, she's a hillbilly.
No, that's not what we're saying, Victor. That's not. Hello, Irene. Irene, I haven't spoken to her in a little bit.
Yeah, she popped up while you were introing your story.
Oh, yeah, there she is.
Oh.
Hello, Irene. I think she was the one I
I'm-
didn't say hello to.
She's talking about ribeyes over here. I'm into it. I love ribeyes.
She's talking
Take
about
a good ribeye, smothered in butter.
Yeah, I'm into
Yeah,
that.
She had a question for you, Goose. She had a question for you earlier about how
What's
many
that?
waiters hit on you at the restaurant.
How many waiters hit on? Well, actually, there was so many. I couldn't tell you how many waiters actually waited on us. I couldn't really tell you. Oh my God, there was
None
so
of them-
many of them.
None
There
of
was,
them
like I
hit
said,
on
there was
you.
three in that section, and then the busser. I know what she's saying, and I'm going to completely avoid that, guys. As you can see, I'm kind of, and you're not really helping me by laughing me and staring at me in a way that says, "Goose, are you
He
really
didn't tell
going
us
to
the part
lose?"
where he pulled out his chair too and sat him down, maybe patted him when he was going
So-
down or something.
So romantic.
Why do I do this show
Whispered
with
in his
people
ear.
who are the enemy?
Whispered in his ear. Drop your pants.
You guys are the villains. You know what we talked about? How I gotta watch out for the villains and the superheroes in life. I think I gotta watch out for you two because I think you two are the villains.
We are.
Felt like it is.
You two are my villains. The circle.
Mm.
The circle. What do I always tell you guys, Cindy? What do I always tell you? And
I've not been in the circle for a long time.
We can't help it. Vic and Irene are just blindsiding us left and right. Oh, it's just like
why do you guys listen to that nonsense in the chat room? You know everything they say is geared towards making fun of me. Every single thing they say. They don't make fun of you, Cindy. They don't make fun of you, Carl, and your shades. Not a peep. Not a peep out of them.
I don't know. I get an occasional shades mockery, but
If you're dining with the cleanest pineapple, dinner is always dine and dash.
wow.
Well, that's what she did, sir, on my date. She kind of dined and dashed.
That's a brand new sentence right there.
Yeah, boy. To the song we're writing, right? Everyone
Yeah.
needs love, and
Yeah.
dine and dash is part of it.
Everyone needs love.
Dine and dash.
Yes.
Love harmony.
A dine and dash like a glove.
Hey, Victor, it's like an hour show, so if we can continue.
But everyone needs love.
Thank you, Victor. I will consider that for our theme song. Thank you, Victor. I would not consider that whatsoever. However, all right, so going on to the critique of my restaurant and my date, so to speak. All right, so after that, we ordered our meals. And like I said, they brought over salads right away. So right away, they're very sensitive to our needs, anything we wanted. And they're immediately giving us service and immediately just treating us like really we're like inside their home is what I felt like. And then we both felt comfortable because I asked her. And she had said, "Hey," she goes, "Yeah, I'm feeling really comfortable here." I told you. And plus, they sat us right by the little campfire area, the little what do they call that?
Fireplace.
Thank you. I can't even think of fireplace. Oh my goodness! By the fireplace, we sat right there, and then I even mentioned that I go, "Do you like the view that we have so far?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a nice ambiance, and everything's going well." I go. And then we started talking.
Pretty good.
She said it's a bad view. She kept looking at some ugly face.
Why do you encourage that behavior, guys? Why do you encourage that?
I was just sitting here. I just happened to be here, sir.
I didn't. I did. I was good. I held back.
You were good. You encouraged that behavior. All right, I'm sitting here trying to do a critique of a date and a restaurant, which is a nice story so far. I would say it was a nice date so far. I think the establishment I can't say enough about. And okay, so then no sooner did we finish our dinners or our salads, they took them away, and then they brought our dinners to us. So it was almost like they waited until we were done with our salads and our conversation that we were having about the the old debate of surf and turf. You know what I mean? That old debate.
That old
Of
chef.
surf and- oh boy, That's a brain rattler. All right, so she did agree with me, and I was like, "Hey, this date's going well. I got someone that actually agrees with my way of thinking." And so, and then, so then after that, they took our salads away. No sooner did we finish, because you always take your plate or whatever, and you set it at the end, and that's how they know to grab it, right? Or at least that's what I do. And I always set it. I don't know if you noticed that, Cindy. I always set my plate or my bowl down at the end of or my empty glass, whatever it is, at the end. You ever notice that? When we're out, I always set it at the end so they know it to take it. But anyways, so like I said, there was 4 of them waiting on us the whole time. So we really didn't know who our waiter was, but he did introduce himself in the beginning. But we had so many others waiting on us, and then so
Like
he
a
came.
swarm.
What's that?
Like a swarm or what?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. No, they weren't like swarming, hovering over us. That gets annoying. I can see what you're saying. As far as critiquing that gets annoying. I don't want someone to come, but they were very observant. Like anytime her water glass got down, they would say, "Would you like another refill, ma'am?" And they refilled or a fresh. Would you like a fresh glass of water, ma'am? And they brought, they refilled a glass, or even brought her another glass of ice and water for her. So, so then, because she said she doesn't really drink, she doesn't imbibe, I guess, in alcohol, and which made me kind of.
How did you handle that?
I just had unsweet tea. I didn't want to drink and be like, "Oh, this dude drinks all the time." I mean, she'd be accurate, but I didn't want her to know that.
You
But
let
anyways,
the waiter know, put a
what's
shot
that?
in my tea. Let the waiter know, put a shot in my tea, please.
I didn't even think of that, Sydney. Had I thought of that, that'd have been awesome. But I was hoping for a good night kiss, and I didn't want her to smell, alcohol on my breath if I had put something in there, And I was like, okay, I'll just drink unsweet tea. So I had the unsweet tea, and she was just drinking water. And so he refilled the glass. He was very tentative, and he asked me if I wanted more unsweet tea. And I said, no, I'm fine, but thank you, and I'll just finish my water here. And then so they brought out the meals like immediately after taking our salad plates, and they brought out the meals, and they sat hers first, which I thought, and that's another I found to be very. It was a romantic gesture again, as I found, and I also found that they should serve women and or children first, depending if Steve's on a date, with the children he dates, Cindy. So yeah, don't get me started on that, Carl. But anyways, so they gave her meal first, which I thought was very nice and respectful, and I thought, okay, that's what they should do, And then they gave me my meal, and then they said, "Is everything cooked to your liking so far, guys? Is there anything I can get for you? Is there anything that you're missing on your plate?" And before he left, after he set it down, and I said, right there, you don't hear that very often. I don't know that I've ever heard a waiter or waitress say that to me, ever. Hey guys, is there anything I can get to it? If you want, I'll take the time. If you want to cut into it before, is it cooked to your liking, or is there anything that you're missing that I need to get for you? And I was like, no, it was great. And then I asked her first. I was like, is everything okay with yours? And she goes, yeah, it looks great. And I said the same thing. I said, yeah, it looks great. Thank you, guys. And then they left. At that point, they left. And they refilled our glasses. They took away our empty salad bowls, and they took away the bread that we had finished there, that little loaf of bread. They took it away, and they'd already asked us if we wanted more. So right then and there, so now they're giving us, I would say it was like maybe 7-10 minutes later, maybe even more, because we were talking. But we both had our meals and we were eating, and then as I took mine and I set it near the edge, right? And they immediately after I set it near the edge, because she was still working on here. She's one of those, I eat little nibbles or bites or whatever, you know what I mean? I think she was trying to be, what's the word? Dainty is the word dainty, Cindy. I'm trying to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
So she was
you
trying
were
to,
already.
what's that?
She probably had 3 bites and you were done eating, huh? Probably.
I was getting close, and actually I didn't
Yeah.
finish the whole thing. I wanted to finish it, but I'm like, okay, I can't be, scarfing this down in front of her. So I ate half. I cut half of it. I immediately cut half right away, and I put the other half to the side of the plate. And then I took half of the vegetables and such that I had, and I put that to the half of the plate. I'm like, okay, that's how I divided it up. Like, I'm only going to eat whatever on the right side. That's how I know that, when I need to stop. And so that's how I do it. That's how I'm doing it. so I don't look like a glutton at first. But so then I took it, and then as soon as I set the plate to the side of the table, they came out, and our initial waiter, he came out and said, may I get you a box for that, a to-go bag for that? And I said, yeah, that'd be nice. And then I asked her, I said, how about you? Would you like a to-go box? And she said, yeah, I'll take one as well. So immediately they brought us out 2 bags and 2 to-go boxes. And they didn't have us do it. They did it for us. And I thought that would, they had the little tray table setting there, like off to the side of the table. And they took her plate and they, scooped it in the box and they bagged it up for her. Right. And they usually put like little mint chocolates on top of it. And then they did mine and they put mine in a bag and set it next to me. But here's the interesting part, okay? Here's the interesting part that I found interesting. All right? At the end of the meal, we had great service. I couldn't ask for better service than what I got from Mariah's there. I could not ask for a better service because they also gave us time to talk with each one another. So I think they knew that we were either on a date or whatever. But when we were there, the check comes, right? And they hand the check to me. They said it to me. Now I'm going to ask both of you. Why is the check handed to the guy all the time? Why not set it in the middle?
Because
one critique about that restaurant that I would have is they gave it to me. They didn't put it in the middle. They didn't give it to her.
No.
So why is that? I think that's my one flaw that I had with it. I'm like, how do you know?
I know.
I
have
wasn't paying for
obvious answer. Obvious answers because you've been in there many times and they know who you are, and you do that every time you go.
Okay.
Your tipping prowess is so legendary that they wouldn't dare give it to anybody else because they don't want to lose that on that goose.
Really? Who does? Because she apparently did.
Don't get that bill to me. It ends up in the garbage.
By garbage, you mean her purse? Her purse?
Just put that under my leftovers. All right.
All right. So I would say the critique of that restaurant was probably much better than the date. I will say that. No, but I really had a nice time with her. I really, truly did. And she said the same thing. And I walked her as we were leaving. They even opened the door for us, because there's 2 doors. There's the outside door and then the one that actually goes into the restaurant in that little hallway or foyer, whatever they call it. So they even opened the door for us on our way out. I'm like, man, this is the nicest service I've ever received. I couldn't ask for a better one of a critique of a restaurant. I don't think there could be a better one than what we just had. So for me, for that restaurant, went heads and tails for the date I was on. Like I said, they greet everyone. They treat everyone the same.
Maybe they felt sorry for you because they see you on so many dates and never with the same person more than once. So they're like, oh, this loser only has 1 date. So let's make the best of it. That's just an idea. Sorry.
Any thoughts to that, guys? None? Not going to help me out at all, guys? Just going to let me sink
I
away?
think maybe they're, let's see.
Yeah, I noticed you guys stumble. You guys seem to stumble when it's the time for you to help me, but you never, ever stumble or hesitate when it's time to ridicule me.
You have legendary tipping prowess. I mean, that was mere moments ago.
They probably treat everybody that way. That's probably status quo.
And that's what I'm saying about this restaurant, Cindy. I felt it is the best restaurant whether you're with on a date or whether you're with a friend or whatever. I think this restaurant treats everyone. And here's another thing that
Mariah's treats lonely people that only have 1 date. They treat them wonderful.
I was
wonderful. O-N-E, wonderful.
He's too much. I can't.
Everyone needs love.
Back to the song.
I can't take Victor. I really can't take him. I don't know why I tolerate him. And you guys don't help me try to get rid of him. Actually, you don't help me try to get rid of him.
He's been popping. He's what's the word?
A weasel.
been,
Pop
like,
goes the weasel.
popping
He's a
in,
weasel.
you know.
He's
Like,
a
whoa.
weasel. Do they play? What is it? Do they play mandatory Mariah because Goose can't get a second? No, that's just mean, sir. That is just mean. That is just mean. All right. Is the place
He's
that's
kind of
first?
like one of those things, a biscuit. You take it and he pops in. Pops out of the can.
Oh yeah, those little snakes
Any-
come out of the little
No,
can.
no, I mean just like regular when you're opening up a can of biscuits. You know what I
Oh,
mean? How they
regular
pop out,
biscuit.
and it's like a little circle. Here's Ray.
Yeah, the biscuit can is way more surprising than any other kind of can.
Yeah.
You mean Victor?
Yeah.
I don't know who this Ray character is, but Victor.
Well,
you mean
Victor, either one.
Victor. All right.
The
So,
Rayovic, the Rayovic,
yeah, derailment is right. A lot of that going on in this show.
Rayovic batteries.
A lot of that going on in this show. This derailment from the chat room, from Victor, and even my co-host. I would say, all of you, out of the circle.
We're getting back on track, Goose. We're getting back on track.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, here's the thing that I've noticed: only 2 restaurants in town that I've been to have done 2 owners of the restaurants, I should say, that do this, and I find this so extremely warming and just respectful to your patrons that come in and to visit your establishment. The owner of Mariah's always goes around to every table to make sure everything is okay as well. He goes, "Hey, is everything cooked to your liking? If not, I will make sure it is to your liking." And he always even talks with them. He even has conversations with them about, "Hey, what do you guys, you got any plans today?" Or, "Hey, how was last week? How was last weekend going for you? Have a good weekend," or whatever he's saying. He's always talking to every single Patreon that goes in to the establishment. And I found that very respectful and very nice of this owner, because you find most owners don't do that at all. Most, they stay in the back, or they don't even, you don't even know they're there or whatever. But this gentleman always comes out and says hello. He greets you, and he knows something about each and every person that goes in the restaurant too. If you tell him something, "Oh, hey, I went with my niece the other day and we went shopping," he'll remember that the next time you come in. He will remember that and say, "Hey, how did shopping go, Goose, the other day with your niece? How'd that go?" He'll remember it. And I find that, wow, I cannot say enough nice things about this Mariah's as I went on for 30 minutes about it. But that is my critique of that restaurant. I speak very, very highly of this restaurant, and I would love to have for him to come on. I'd love to have Sam on and just talk about, how he got started and things like that nature. Maybe the next
How
time.
long do you look at dates?
Nothing, guys. Cindy, Carl.
I don't know what that meant. I was trying to process the information.
I'll pity you at your date.
Thank you.
How long do you look at dates?
I didn't understand it.
They all pity him when he goes on a date.
He's like Mr. T. He's doing that.
I like Rodney Dangerfield. No respect, huh?
Oh yeah,
I get no respect. Coming when you have no class.
We're really getting warmed up now.
Are we really? We're getting warmed up. Okay, so that is my critique of that restaurant. I cannot speak highly. I cannot speak enough kind and words about that establishment. I really can't. I can't give a better praise than what I'm giving right now for Mariah's. And another restaurant, I'll do that. I'll say that for another time, Cindy, maybe another segment that we do a few weeks down the road. But there's another restaurant that I really, really love as well. And I appreciate the owner there as well, what he does as well. Because he's another one. He's one of 2 restaurants in town that do that. And there's nothing more I could say about Mariah's than it's a great establishment. It's a great place to bring family or dates or what have you. And they treat you truly like family there. I would say they treat you like family. They're just so warm and welcoming. All right. So Cindy, that is my segment of the critique of Mariah's. If you want to get on to yours, whether good or bad, I'd love to hear it. Carl and I would love to hear it. And perhaps Victor will pick it apart like he did mine.
I don't care. Anyway, mine won't be as detailed as I was used. Anyway, I go out to breakfast quite a bit, and I've kind of scaled back. But one of my favorite places to go is Brunchville, and it's a nice little small. Frenchfield
Yeah, I never heard of it.
restaurant. It's where the Strike and Spare bowling alley is over on Lawrence, and right
Oh,
across the street is the Trading Post, and it's a little
yeah.
restaurant. It's been several different things. So usually I go in there. I'll get in there early because I'm an early riser. Sometimes I'm the first one there. So, but doesn't matter. So I come walking in, and sometimes they'll have a new hostess, and they'll try and seat me, and they always stop and say, "No, no, no, she's got her own table. You just let her go." And I do. They have a table that I go to. Most of the time, it's open. So I like to sit there. One of the reasons why I like because it's close to the bathroom. I swear to God.
So as soon as you walked in, similar to Mariah's, you were greeted because they knew you, correct? So they
Yes,
made you
yes,
feel welcome. So as soon as you walked
yes.
into the establishment, you felt welcome. Hey, Cindy, come on in and sit
And
where you
and I
normally.
felt that since day one. The owner's name is Eric. He always comes over and we talk, unless
Wait,
unless he doesn't have
is he a younger guy and he's married?
yes.
Yeah, I met him. I met them. Yeah, it used to be like an Italian restaurant they used to own there or something.
Ah,
I met them. Yeah, I know them.
No, they didn't own the Italian restaurant that I know of. It was
Oh,
somebody else. That was
those are the others
Nico.
I know, huh?
Nico, and then there was another guy before that. I can't think of his name. I think it was called Palermo's then or something. It was another place. That was Italian, but
Yeah, it was
But
Italian.
even day one, he came over and he talked to me, and he was telling me about how he bought the place, and him and a few other fellas. But lately, though, he hasn't because of the cooking shortage and everything else. Sometimes he's back there cooking, but sometimes he'll come out and he'll say, "Hey, how's the pancakes today?" Because they're pancakes is kind of an art form for me. I like them a certain way, and in a lot of places they just don't get it right. So, but
So you like your
anyway,
pancakes fluffy,
they're
fluffy
like
and
a
light,
what?
fluffy and light on your pancakes.
My main thing is I like for it to have that little crispness around the edge. I like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and if it's not there, it's not that good.
I
I
can't
don't
believe
like
you
and I
sit
want
so
it to be
close.
hot.
I can't believe you sit close to the bathroom.
I do.
I mean, where you can
Sometimes
smell
you
those. You don't want to be sitting close if I go in. I'll tell you right now.
well, I'm usually the first one in the race, so it's really not backed up.
I can ruin a meal.
I bet you can. I bet
Or a
you can.
story. Either one. You can ruin stories. I know that. You do that pretty
Yeah, you
well.
can do that too. So
Or a podcast. You do that pretty well. You ruin that pretty
yes,
well.
yes. But I'm there all the time, so most of the people come out and I've usually you sit down, and they come over and they'll take my order and want to know if I'm having my usual, and usually I like to get pancakes and sausage and eggs.
Now
So
you do sausage patties or sausage links? And does the
patties.
waiter ask you?
and do you like blueberries in your pancakes?
Oh, good one.
No,
No?
I just like my plain, just
Buttermilk.
plain. Now my granddaughter likes the Mickey Mouse ones with chocolate chips, shaped like a Mickey
Mm.
Mouse. So we
Who
took her
doesn't?
one
Right,
time.
Carol? Who doesn't?
Oh yeah, if you have to. So, but
Irene likes
anyway,
chocolate chips in her pancakes.
who does?
Apparently, Irene likes the chocolate chips in her pancakes over here.
Yeah, some people like the sausage links too. It's according to what I'm reading.
Y'all making me hungry.
This just did from the chat room.
Yeah, but they even they do evenings too. They just started doing evenings there. On Friday if you want to get fish, they got the walleye. I haven't tried it yet, but I bet it'll be good. And they do. One of the chefs that I don't think have you been there too much lately. He makes a good jambalaya and stuff like that. Just a variety. But I'm usually in the morning for breakfast.
Wait, is
And
jambalaya spicy? Is that a spicy? Because that's what is it? Cajun?
it has a little kick to it every time I've had it. I bet
Okay.
you could probably make it. I don't know if you could make it. It's the same way I've ever had it. So.
I feel like it's one of those things they serve a little spicy, but there might be a side of a hot sauce nearby that you could
Make it a
adjust.
lot spicy too. However you want to do it.
I feel like there's hot sauce next to you all the time, Carl.
Unfortunately, I'm 25% hot sauce.
Is that what your wife calls you?
Yeah,
25% hot sauce.
that's a pretty good nickname for me, actually. Might have to stick after this.
So
Maybe.
you stay close to the bathroom too, huh?
Exactly.
He's a good one, Cindy.
Exactly. Yep. See, it's true. You know,
You
get
gotta,
it. Your
you know,
spot.
you never know. Yeah.
All right, so you got your pancakes, and they turned out
Got
well.
my pancakes. I'm sitting there, and they come. The coffee pot's actually right above where I'm sitting, so I'm always getting served right and left. And I always tell them, they go, "Do you need coffee?" And I said, almost 99% of the time, you come by, just go ahead and pour it in there, So they
Yeah,
know to do that,
yeah.
And then
So they're very tentative too, you would say. Like they see that your coffee
yes,
cup is empty or your water, whatever.
right, and it was
Yeah.
clean. The area's clean. The other day I came in and she run a little cold, and they had the little space heater right there, and I thought, boy, you can't get better service than that. So
Oh, the
that,
space heater in the bathroom and getting
yeah,
more coffee. Hey,
coffee, yes,
what's not? And
yes.
even the owner said to say hello to you, right? The owner came out and said
Oh
hello.
yeah, always. And then some, since I go in there a lot, the waitresses that stop by and the waiters, they always want to know. I try to find out what's going on with them, and they ask about me. And then at what was it, Easter? Easter, we made some eggs. I had some pictures of some eggs, and that we had decorated. And no, it wasn't that. It was little mini pumpkins that we did at home. And they put them up in the restaurant. They put them up in the restaurant. Me and my granddaughters made. Yeah. Yeah, she says, because they had some, and I said, you know what? I said, we'll make some and we'll bring them in, and we put sparkles on them and we painted them, and it was pretty cool. They put them on their Facebook page.
See, now I found
Yeah.
that pretty cool too, because what the owner is saying there, what he's saying to me is, yeah, we value you as a customer, right? Bring some of your things that you made in. What, you know what? Can we not do a nice family-oriented show? Is that not allowed on this network?
Bubba says, put a recliner there for Cindy. They probably would. Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
put a recliner and he like them big ones, and they love the recliners.
I don't know if Carl knows that story, and it's not that type of show, Victor. Not that type of show.
yeah.
But Cindy, so overall, Cindy, if you were to give your 1 through 10 or 0 through 10, 0 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, what would you rate that establishment at, especially with your service and everything because you've been there a couple times? So
Yeah, or at least, yeah. It's a 10 for me. Even this one guy, he comes around, he waits the tables, and and he's a Miami Dolphins fan. So me, I love my football. So we always talk about the football, and then when he sees me, he always gives me a high five. Well, it'd been a little bit since I had been in there, so he comes over, he goes, "Oh, are you a fan?" He goes, "No high five today." He says, "I'm gonna have to give you a hug today." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That was kind of nice. I was unexpected, but nice. Yeah.
no, it is nice. It is
Do they
nice.
have crepes?
Crepes.
Cindy, do they
I
got
want to
crepes?
say, I want to say yes, but I've never had crepes.
I don't
out
like
there.
breakfast places that don't have crepes.
I don't think there's an establishment that likes you in their establishment, Victor.
How dare you? How dare you?
Because you try to steal their recipes, is what you're trying to do. Their sausage,
Yeah.
and pawn it off as your own.
Just doing some sausage espionage.
You think he would do that? He's the type of person that would do that. Like take the sausages that you get and pass them off as his own, and say,
sliding them down into his sleeve to go back and do research on them.
And getting the ones off the other plates as he goes by.
"You're gonna finish that? I'm gonna take it home."
Yeah. Right.
Well, so overall, you would give that place an establishment a 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And is it locally owned? Is it a locally owned establishment?
Yes.
Good. That's what I wanted.
No chain. No
Yeah,
chain.
I don't want to do chains, as I mentioned to you before. I don't want to do chains of restaurants, I'd like to do local establishments, especially with what we're going to do on days where one of us can't be here, and we do the show later or whatever it may be. Cindy and I are going to feature, have on the show from time to time, especially with you, Carl, from time to time, having local businesses on the show that we let them talk about their establishment, how they got started, and what they're really looking forward to. So that is something that Cindy and I were talking about, and I know that we had Wild on a few weeks ago, which all of us really loved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I know we all passionate and love music, right? We all love music.
All of us,
Yes.
especially Vic.
Does Victor know music at all? Why do we invite him on? No. See, that's what I mean. You invited him on the show again, Carol.
Gonna hold my baby, gonna hold her tight. A treat afternoon.
And get rid of
It's,
Victor all
hey,
day.
it's
all
like
night.
Beetlejuice. You say his name, and there he is.
There he is. How do you get him to go away, though? Like, how do you get him to go away?
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know the antidote for that.
You know what? Maybe the three of us ought to start a business, a sausage business and pancake business.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
At Vic's Sausages. Afternoon Delight at Vic's Sausages.
And afternoon delight.
Thank you, Victor.
Baby.
Thank you, Victor. I would say Victor wins the most annoying, biggest jackass. award.
Everyone needs love.
You gotta have goals in life.
What's no, don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Don't
All
say
right.
the name.
All right, so everyone
The
loves
name that
music.
we shall not speak.
I'm trying to segue, guys, into Carl's segment, and I'm being thwarted.
Well, there was a little thwarting in there, but it's all right. I'm ready for my segment, ladies and gentlemen. You've been wondering all this time. We didn't know that I'm going to do who I'm going to do. You did a magnificent job on both of your segments. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you, sir.
Splendid work. And we know we've got the palate cleanser of John Cougar Mellencamp, or maybe John Mellencamp. Does he go by Cougar anymore?
He does not.
Well,
I won't get into that, but sir, Cindy and I have been waiting for weeks to hear your segment.
All
We
right.
have got to get your segment first.
I think it's going to be somebody you've never heard of.
Okay.
So the goal is, expose you to different things.
Yes, I hit you with Bruce. Yes.
Exactly. It's kind of like a reversal Bruce situation. So the band I'm going to talk about today is called Pixies. Have you ever heard of them?
No, but it looks like the Aerosmith symbol too, though.
Kind of does a little bit, yeah. A little bit, but they're not the same band.
Pixies, an alternative band very famous in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
Thank you, Victor.
They're around still.
They are.
They reformed, yeah. But it's part of my story.
Okay.
So let's dive into it.
Please.
Yeah, Vic was right.
Have you heard of this band, Cindy? Have you heard of this band before? No, I haven't either.
No.
Yeah. All right. So Pixies is an iconic indie rock band that emerged in the mid 1980s and quickly became a pioneering force in alternative rock music. Hailing from Boston, Massachusetts, the band was formed in 1986 by frontman Black Francis, real name. Hey, Irene says she's heard of Pixies before. The frontman's name is Black Francis in Pixies, and his real name is actually Charles Thompson. Lead guitarist Joey Santiago, bassist Kim Deal, and drummer David Levering.
Where are they all from now? Where are they from?
Boston, Massachusetts originally.
They're all from Boston originally.
Well, actually, they I believe that they are formed in Boston, Massachusetts, but the core of Joey Santiago and Charles Thompson, aka Black Francis, the two guitarists, they were attending UMass in Boston, and that's where they met because they were at similar dorm. I think maybe they were like next door to each other.
And that's how they met?
Yep.
And that's how they met.
That's how they met. And then their bassist, Kim Deal, who also does some backing vocals and lead vocals on one song, she is from Ohio originally, but she had gotten married to a man that was from Boston. So she moved to Boston to be with her husband at the time, and she saw an advertisement in the local newspaper that said, "Looking for a bassist inspired by Husker Du and who was that other band? Peter, Paul, and Mary." It's the ones
Oh.
that sing Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a
Surely you've
joke.
heard of them, Cindy. You've heard of that, right?
What was that?
The Magic Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Husker Du you might not have heard of, though. They're like a very
In
fast.
1987, I was helping a gentleman called Keith who worked at WYMG, and he did a show called Vinyl de Jour, where he played all the alternative bands. And I turned him on to the Pixies
Ooh.
and gave him an album, and he said, "Vic, this is beautiful." And he started to play the Pixies every week on Vinyl de Jour.
Ooh.
So I'm responsible for bringing the Pixies to Springfield. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Vic,
you.
you the man.
He wants all the credit single-handedly, saying that he brings the Pixies here.
The Pixies weren't shit till I brought them to Springfield.
It's famous that's where they emerged from. They may have
And
been from Boston, but Springfield, Illinois is really there.
Well, then I guess we owe a big thank you to Victor, everyone, for bringing a band I've never heard of.
You're welcome.
So the next part of my spiel says their distinct blend of punk, pop, and surf rock with surreal lyrics and unconventional song structures earned them critical acclaim.
And
a
harmonies.
following. Oh, what do you say?
Harmony.
Oh yeah, their harmonies are the best.
They had
part.
nice harmony.
So nice.
So they were a boy band before boy bands.
They were not a boy band. How dare you?
They weren't even all boys, Goose.
Oh, that's right, because one of them was named Kim.
One of them was Kim Deal, yes. So, they released their debut album, Surfer Rosa, in 1988, which was produced by Steve Albini and included the hit single, Gigantic. Yeah, I do.
What is she asking if you like cake for?
I like cake in both forms, the band and the food item. Although with food, I prefer pie, but I like cake too. All right. So the album received universal praise for its raw energy. Did I say that it had a hit single named Gigantic? That's going to be
No.
important.
Wait, have you ever heard of the song?
Played on Vinyl de Jour.
Ah, yeah.
You got a couple lines for us? Maybe we know what it is.
Yeah, maybe we know what it
Gigantic?
is. Give us something.
Do you want me to play a little Gigantic?
I
for
mean,
you?
I mean, if we can, I didn't even know who the Pixies are. I really don't. I've never heard of them.
Not cultured enough.
Your culture today, Goose.
I mean, give me a band that, people know. I'll know it. Hey, look, I like the Backstreet Boys as much as anybody. I like, various artists. I like John Cougar Mellencamp, right? I mentioned John Cougar Mellencamp. I like him, right? I like, Prince. I mentioned that. So that's a wide range. I like Tool, the band Tool.
That's a wide gamut you've got there, Goose.
You know what I'm saying? I like the Bee Gees, of course, and
Here we go.
one of the greatest rock bands of all time is a band called Rush. I love them. They have an eclectic music, but I've never heard of the Pixies. I really have not.
All right. I'm going to try to play this. Let's see how this works.
How close are they to Veruca Salt? Are they close to that?
Nothing like Veruca Salt.
Yeah, because Veruca Salt's awesome. Leave me lying here.
Is that a Veruca Salt song?
Yeah. I don't want to go. That band. How dare you play?
That's the chorus. Did you hear that all right?
Yeah, I did.
What were the words?
Gigantic, gigantic, my big, big love. Very on theme for this episode.
There's another nickname for you, huh?
Don't get that started. Oh God.
All right, it's gonna be over the top. So
right.
they're kind of like an alternative rock band. Basically, they were like, you remember how alternative rock got really big in the early '90s?
Yes, yes.
They were basically formed like Vic said in like 1987. So they were like right before all of that went supernova. There was the Pixies, and in fact, like "Smells Like Teen Spirit." I'm sure you've heard of that song, like the Nirvana song.
Yes.
He called that a Pixies ripoff. He was trying to actively write a Pixies song.
Hmm.
That makes sense.
You know what? In the beginning, there, what I heard there, they almost sound like the Scorpions a little bit. Do they have a little?
Oh,
Were they-
for God's sakes! Not the Scorpions. They're pure American alternative. Scorpions were heavy metal schlock
From Germany, no
from
less.
Germany. Bunch of Nazis. The Pixies, true American garbage alternative.
Garbage is right. You got that correct.
How dare you?
Garbage
So
is correct.
classy.
How dare you.
Correct answer for 5 points. Correct.
All right. The band's follow-up, Doolittle, released in 1989, was another critical and commercial success. This album featured a number of their most well-known songs, such as "Here Comes Your Man." You might like that one better, Goose. Can we do a little "Here Comes Your Man"?
Why would I like that one better, sir?
This is a good one, Goose. Get ready.
Get ready, Goose. Get ready.
It's something you dream about.
Is it, Cindy? Jackass alert. Jackass alert. All of you.
All right. Here
Here it
comes your
comes.
man.
Here it comes. Here comes your man, Goose.
Culture. For God's
Any second now. Live. There it goes.
Sounds like surfer music, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Beach Boys meets Waylon Jennings.
What do you think about that, Goose?
That's good music.
I like that. That's the Pixies.
Yeah.
That's the Pixies.
Indeed. Indeed.
It reminds me of older music, though. I mean, way back.
Yeah,
You know,
kinda- it's like
way
yeah,
back.
Dick Dale sounding
Yeah.
underneath quite a few songs.
the
So
Pixies.
true.
I mean, that could be music from even before we were born. Sounds like.
Yeah, the
old
Pixies,
stuff.
the Pixies are like that. They're timeless.
Yeah.
Well, so that was grunge. Like they sound like to you, Cindy, to you. They sound like if it was grunge back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, or even farther
It
back.
was like early grunge. In fact, people said, forgive me, Carl. People said that the grunge ripped off the Pixies. Do you understand?
No, I do not. Why would you rip off a band that is
accused
garbage?
grunge bands of ripping off the Pixies, but the grunge bands were all from like the Seattle area, and
Yeah.
yet it was East Coast bands like the Pixies that were taking this form of music originally.
Is that true? Was Victor saying true, Carl?
Yeah, that's 100%.
Goddamn right it is.
Thank you, Victor.
He's
Boy,
played
he's
those
really
little-
passionate about the Pixies. I mean, he did bring them to Springfield, Illinois.
He's Googling it, so he has something to say.
Thank goodness. What's he Googling?
How
the band.
dare you?
Yeah, just like Jason and his cheating ways.
Yes,
trivia,
finding
Google.
ways to. Yes.
Yeah,
All
his ways of Googling. All right.
So that's "Here Comes Your Man." You like that song, right? It's great.
Carl, I apologize. When anyone adult tries to bring an adult, a great topic to this show, it gets shot down.
I know. I'm trying really hard here. It's
We're
great.
trying to bring culture to this program.
So much culture.
I
So
feel,
much culture.
I feel sorry for you.
I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. All right. So there was trouble in the Pixies, though. They had great music, but like I said, their original, like one of their earliest hit singles was "Gigantic." Now, the bass player Kim Deal had sang the lead vocals on that song.
Okay.
So there was a main songwriter that was Black Francis. And so there was
AKA Black Francis, right? He was an AKA.
Yeah, Charles Thompson, aka Black Francis.
Mm-hmm.
So he did not like that she sang that song, and it was very popular. And so she didn't get any more lead vocal duties in the Pixies. Very rarely. I think there's like a B-side that's got her singing the lead vocals. So there was a lot of dissent within the group, and she did like the backing harmonies on a lot of their songs.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, she started trying to chart her own path separate from Pixies. So she kind of started a side project called The Breeders. Have you heard of The Breeders before?
I have heard of The Breeders, yes. Yes.
Yes. All right. So Pixies had, they recorded about 4 full albums on the record label. And around the third one, Kim recorded the Breeders album, which was kind of at the time like a side project kind of a situation.
Okay.
So basically,
have you heard of the Breeders, Cindy? I'm sorry, Carl. Have you heard of the Breeders, Cindy?
No.
Either one of these bands you have not heard of?
Not heard of either one.
Okay.
I bet you've heard the Breeders, but you didn't.
But you know what? I don't always know the name. Sometimes I know the music, when I hear it, but I don't always know the name of the band that's playing it.
It's true. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
I know. That's how I got into watching MTV, because I was like, it's going to tell me who these bands are, and I can figure out what's what. Next thing you know, I'm wearing the t-shirt or the sweater or whatever, and I know all about all these bands because I did all my research. All right. At any rate, I carry on. So the Pixies had recorded 4 albums, and the Breeders had put out one called Pod, which was a little ponderous for the most part, but it had some good songs on it. There's a really cool cover of Happiness is a Warm Gun by the Beatles. I don't know if you know that song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a classic Beatles tune.
Oh, yeah.
So at some point...
Happiness is a warm gun, baby.
Which way to point? That's beautiful. That was beautiful, Vic.
You do realize...
my brother in culturedness.
You do realize you're connecting with Victor, and you seem to be happy about connecting with Victor.
Well, everybody needs love, Goose. We're gonna strong John Lennon theme thread running through the episode. All right. So whenever
who ended up being their lead singer then if Kim left? Their vocals.
Kim was just like she did the harmonies, and Charles Thompson, aka Black Francis, sang all the songs, like the lead vocals, except for Gigantic.
Which became Gigantic.
And they did actually, so there was one song where they had the drummer sing, almost as if it was like kind of like a mean prank on the song called I Love You.
And then they had someone else play bass on something, and it really pissed her off.
Right?
I can't remember what album that was.
Yeah.
Oh.
So was she just a singer, or did she play an instrument too?
No, she played the bass.
She played bass.
She was a harmony singer, but she had a song that she sang lead vocals on. But then, that became popular.
Black Francis got jealous.
Yes, and it sounded like jealousy happened in that band.
Oh, soap opera.
Because she was becoming more popular than he was, and then, but he was supposed to be the face of the. He was supposed to be the face of the band, whereas she was becoming the face with the audience.
With the first song being the one that she sang.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what he like. It's kind of like Ringo Starr, right? When he sang the song for one.
She wasn't the one that said make that the single. The record company was.
Yeah.
But Black Francis, he just couldn't wrap his head around it.
It is kind of mind blowing. I don't know how I'd feel about it if I was him. If I was in those shoes.
Yeah, but why not let her go? Like, why not start writing songs for her and write your own stuff, and then have her sing as well? Like, if she's becoming popular, then why are so many? Because I think that's what happens with bands, right? Is their egos get in the way of their music.
They do, yeah, very clearly.
Just like with Genesis, kind of. Whereas Genesis, Phil Collins ended up he was the drummer, and then he became the face of Genesis, correct? After Peter Gabriel left.
It's so wild that there's so many talented people in that band that as a first name basis. It's like, what? Mm-hmm. Some people don't even know Peter Gabriel was in Genesis to start with. As their original lead vocalist.
Well, some people aren't cultured, Vic. They're not cultured.
Goose has culture when it comes to Genesis.
It's got the Genesis culture. That sounds like a Star Trek episode, actually. All right.
Evil Carl, thank you.
I got my Vulcan hand. So with the Pixies, what happened was eventually they one of my favorite albums by them that I was going to specifically highlight was actually their final with their original lineup before they broke up. It's called Trompe Le Monde.
This is what Kim didn't play bass. This is where another guy played the bass on song.
So they basically kicked her out of the band at this point. They basically were kind of.
She left.
Yeah, she went
But they were kind of forcing her out, though, right? I mean, he was kind of forcing her out.
Well, she didn't have any minor backing vocals at this point. And there was like a keyboardist guy. It was kind of like Let It Be almost, because they brought in this guy named Eric Drew Feldman, and he was tickling the ivories over there. So instead of being like this really garagey 4-piece band that was real scrappy, instead it was turning into kind of like more of like a almost like a
Geddy Lee and Rush.
Ooh, yeah.
Geddy Lee's can tickle the ivories for sure.
He can.
And he played bass. He also played bass too.
Yeah, I enjoy his synthesizer playing. He's pretty good.
See, Brent, talent does exist in a 3-man band called Rush, sir.
So Trompe Le Monde comes out. Pixies dissolve. The legend is that they broke up over fax machine, but I'm not sure that that's 100% verified. Holly says she loves them. Nice, Holly. I'm glad.
They broke up over Kim Deal's husband telling him to fuck off.
Is that really what happened? Is that really what happened?
That's how she left the band.
Well, Vic did popularize them in this area, so I've got to defer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He brought them to town and popularized them.
Yeah, that's right.
Brought them to town, man.
Can I ask you if there was one person, I don't even want to say on this show, but currently who keeps visiting our show, that you wouldn't want to become in your circle, and yet Carl chooses to allow Victor in his circle? Can I ask why he chooses Victor?
He has taste. Thank you.
I'm super cultured, Goose.
Culture.
I'm like yogurt. I'm super cultured.
I don't like yogurt. Oh.
You don't like yogurt?
How about you, Cindy? You like yogurt?
Yeah.
Ugh.
See,
But I don't like the plain ones. You know what I mean? Mine's got to be like almost like a dessert yogurt, like pineapple upside down, cake flavored, or
Preach, Cindy.
something like that. Boston cream pie.
She's right.
Just regular yogurt, you're just like, no thanks.
I mean, you could stir something into it, but yeah.
Yeah, no vanilla,
right.
no.
There's still hope, Goose. You could still come around on yogurt. Anyway.
And the Pixies? Can I come around on the Pixies?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. They exist now. They broke up supposedly over fax machine. Kim Deal went on to superstardom with this band called The Breeders that she'd started, and their hit song "Cannonball," huge hit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Or you could find a current band that has a Pixie sound, like say Silver Sun Pickups or something.
Oh, yeah.
A band like that.
Who's that?
Sort of like them that you could catch into.
Who's that,
But
Carl?
allow me to keep my culture to myself.
Please do. Who is the Silver Sun Surfers? What the hell are you talking
Just
about?
like Vic said, they're a very Pixies-esque band. There are a lot of bands that are they influence.
They're playing now. Are they together now?
Yeah, actually, the original lineup got back together in, I'd say 2009. I might be off on that.
The Pixies or the Silver Surfers? Which one are you talking about?
Pixies, yeah.
Okay.
The Silver Surfers is actually a Marvel Comics character, but Vic was talking about
the other band was.
Yeah.
What was it called? What was it called? Sunset. What's it called?
Silver Sun Pickups.
Silver Sun Pickups.
Yes, and the Silver Surfer might be a Marvel movie coming to a theater near you someday.
I've seen the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I like Silver Surfer. That'd be a cool show.
He surfed down the road.
We are all over the place.
We really are. Can we stay on track here, Cindy? Please?
Pixies got back together with Kim Deal.
Oh wow!
So the original lineup was together for quite a few years after their breakup, but eventually she went back to do like the 20th anniversary Breeders album tour. So she quit the Pixies, and now it's they have a different bassist. So I mean, they're the Pixies. They just have a different bass player and harmony vocalist.
So would you say the Pixies? What year was at their height? I guess is I'm going to ask first. What year was their height of their popularity? I guess when
around 90 was probably the height, right, Carl?
I'm with it. Yeah, 90 would.
They were around 88, but 89, 90, 91. That's when they were really a lot of the hip people like Carl and me were into them.
Yeah. That was their time frame. Whenever
you hear that, Cindy? They just categorize themselves as hip people. Carl and Victor.
By the way, here's some advice from Carl and I. Silver Sun Pickups.
Yes.
Listen to the song "Lazy Eye." It's a great song.
Lazy Eye.
I don't want to dissuade attention from this segment, but I'm just saying the song "Lazy Eye" from Silver Sun Pickups is very good.
What band would you say, Carl and Victor, is out of the bands that you mentioned to us, the three bands that you mentioned to us, the Pixies?
Pixies, you got to listen to because they're the original.
The Pixies, the Breeders, or the Silver Sun Pickups. Which band would you say you guys tend to lean towards more?
Pixies for me is the number one, I'd say.
Pixies are the originals.
Yeah. And if you listen to the Breeders, they kind of just sound like the Pixies, really. I mean,
and the Silver Sun Pickups kind of sound like the Pixies too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just don't have Black Franklin or whatever.
That's a good name, actually.
He was on Charlie Brown. Black Franklin was on Charlie Brown.
Oh, God. All right, we're going off the rails. Not that type of show, Cindy. Not that type of show. Tell us, can we bring it? Carl, can you help me bring it back, please?
Reeling it back in, yes.
Please.
So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to check out some of my favorite songs, Pixies wise, I'd say my favorite one's an oddball one. It's called "Motorway to Roswell." Can you guess what that song's about?
Motorway to Roswell, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great TV show about Roswell in the mid '90s. Great TV show.
It's a very poignant song about a little person that was flying in their UFO and he got lost, crash landed on Earth, and now he's been abducted by the U.S. Army, and now he's like, what happened to me? Kind of had a dream like that last night a little bit. I was like, disoriented, You know how dreams are. Sometimes you're like, where's my keys?
You were thinking about your segment today. You started dreaming about it.
Exactly. I was getting ahead of the curve, but some of their songs are like really pretty amazing. You like "Here Comes Your Man," "Motorway to Roswell" is really good. There's
How come the Pixies never got mainstream though? How come?
I feel like they could have. They actually, I think I heard a legend that they could have been on Arsenio Hall's show.
Oh wow!
Whenever he was super enormous.
Yeah.
Show.
So wait, had he let Kim become the front man of the face of the group of that band, do you think that band would have become more popular had he let her grow into that role?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, because I mean, Cannonball was enormous.
Yeah. So that was really the downfall. That was the downfall of that band, the Pixies, is because he wasn't able to move his ego aside and let her become the face of the band.
Possibly, but I mean, if you think about it, like if you listen to their songs, all their songs are killer.
Who
I think that the grunge movement coming out in the early '90s changed the record industry, and their record didn't support them the way they should have. Their record company.
It's true. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you were in
Doolittle should have been a lot bigger than it was.
Yeah, that one's
Doolittle. Hold on, back up.
That was their album. There was Santa Rosa and Doolittle. Doolittle was a great album, but it didn't get the recognition that it should have gotten.
No, not at all. That's the one that "Here Comes Your Man" is on, and if it
it's got the Dick Dale influence.
I thought they were talking about another band name we haven't heard of, Cindy.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is all Pixies right now.
You know, because we're the uncultured people of this group, apparently.
Very uncultured.
Cindy, we gotta.
Dr. Doolittle, but that's another.
I
thing.
would have
Yeah,
Dr.
that's
Doolittle.
actually what it's named after. Yeah, there's a lyric from the album that's where he talks to animals like Doolittle.
Really?
Huh?
I love you.
Yeah, well, I Love You is a good one. That could have been a hit. Come on, guys.
Fucking Goose.
So the Pixies were on the cusp, would you say? They were really on the cusp back then.
They were more on the cusp
Bad
than you
timing.
could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it was bad timing for them.
I have a question. Did you have this sweatshirt before, or did you go out and buy it?
Had it before.
No, I'm guessing he had it before. I bet he's got a million bands
Yeah, like
t-shirts and
bands.
stuff.
So I
So
got
yeah,
a
I
lot of
bet he
bands.
does has a lot
Like
of.
Bruce with Batman t-shirts.
He's
Oh
cultured.
my goodness, a
Yeah.
collection of. I bet you save a whole dresser just to all your bands.
Yeah, it's
So-
like a hermetically sealed room. I just press the button and the doors open.
See, Cindy, if you'd become his butler, you'd have access to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
They say, "Who's this band? Who's this? What's his name?"
Mm-hmm.
Goose, I was going to mention too. A lot of some of the Pixies albums have go guest host on genres.
That'd be great. I think that's a great idea, Dan. I think everyone can give like what you're doing now, like kind of a behind the scenes, behind the music story that you're giving us now. You're introducing us to Pixies, and what are they called? The Silver Sun, something.
Pickups.
It's not the
Lick
Silver
up.
Shirt.
Did you catch that one, Carl?
What happened?
Read that.
The Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
She wants to adopt you, apparently.
That's nice. So, what was I going to say about the Pixies?
Silver Sun pickups, the Pixies, and the Breeders is what we're getting so far. Can you do a brief? So the start of the Breeders came from when Kim basically, and like Victor said, her husband said, "I've had enough of this garbage." So she moved on and started the band The Breeders, and had a really big hit in Cannonball.
She didn't move on till like 90, I think at 90. But the Breeders were doing the music when she was still into Pixies, right, Carl?
Yeah, she started them before she left. She was
Yeah.
like, she had this friend named Tanya Donnelly that was from this other band called Throwing Muses. So what the
What was
original,
that called? What was that called? Back up.
there was a band called Throwing Muses. They were on the same record label.
Throwing Muses.
Yeah, Throwing Muses. Probably never heard of them. They're not.
No, I have not.
popular.
Cindy.
I have not. But
So Tanya was the lead guitarist and Kim was the bassist. So Kim was the bassist in the Pixies. Tanya was the lead guitarist in Throwing Muses.
Oh.
So they decided to hatch an escape plan because they weren't getting their songs played as much as they wanted them to.
Oh, so she was going through the similar thing that Kim was going through with the Pixies.
Yes, exactly, almost. Although Tanya got a few songs onto their records, Kim was getting basically none of her songs onto any of the Pixies records.
Rather than side
So-
B.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Why is side B referred to the way it is like known? Or why is there a stigmatism to side B? Like some
I
songs
don't
are
know if there
really
is
good.
anymore. It used to be kind of like a whole thing, but back whenever you had records and you had to flip them over and stuff. Sometimes there would be a record that would come out as a double side A.
Uh-huh.
Like there'd be like Strawberry Fields Forever and what is that other one?
Penny Lane, there is a barber selling photographs.
Perfect. Oh,
Of
wrong way.
naked men, but oh, sorry.
We brought Paul in. It was supposed to be John. I should have remembered Paul's song, so we could have got a John in there. But you prefer Paul, right, Goose?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Cindy, who's your favorite Beatle?
Ringo.
Right,
Ringo.
Ringo. I've never heard anyone say Ringo is my favorite.
I
Beatle.
love it.
Yeah.
You just heard a Ringo fan.
Well, that's
I love it. Finally
That's who
happened.
sits by the bathroom. Ringo fan.
Victor, would you say that's cultured, being a Ringo Starr fan? Is that cultured? Nothing, huh, Vic? When I want him to ask a serious question, he gives me nothing. That's Victor. Thank you, Victor. Thank you.
So where I was going with that was that so Tanya Donnelly and Kim Deal started the Breeders. They played together on one album. Kim thought they'd share songwriting duties in the Breeders, and they'd do like a side A, side B type of situation.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But instead, she just came and played lead guitar for a while. And then she left to form her own band, which is called Belly, which had this hit song called Feed the Tree in like 1993 or 2 or something around there.
So the Pixies have started. Let me get this straight.
Yes.
The Pixies have started.
1988.
Okay.
With their album Surfer Rosa.
Surfer Rosa. Okay.
Surfer
From
Rosa.
that band, there have been 4 other bands.
No, not at all.
That's what you're telling me.
No.
No.
So there's the Pixies and then the Breeders, straight from the Pixies.
But then the 2 ladies got together and formed another band.
Yeah.
But then the one lady left and formed another band. So
Well,
right there were
Had
4
nothing to do with
bands.
the Pixies.
No, that's okay. So there's the Pixies and the Throwing Muses. These are the 2 original bands. Both of them had their original songwriters.
Yes.
Kirsten Hirsch in Throwing Muses, who was the, I think, stepsister of the Tanya Donnelly from Throwing Muses.
Yes.
And Tanya left to join the Breeders, played lead guitar on an album called Pod, which has Happiness is a Warm Gun on it by the Beatles. And a bunch of, there's some good songs on Pod, but their hit album is Last Splash, which is what has Cannonball on it. And by that time, Tanya had left to form Belly, who had a hit song named Feed the Tree, which was on MTV all the time. So there were 2 different bands. They both had like the main songwriter, and then these 2 supposedly lesser artists who were like
Who should have been the face of those bands and weren't allowed to be the face of those bands.
Yes,
Because
and they both
of jealousy and their
both had
egos.
hits.
Yes.
And as you noticed, Throwing Muses hasn't had a hit. Pixies hasn't had a hit. So, as far as music industry success, both of those other offshoot bands were more popular.
Yeah, because those ladies were actually allowed to write and sing their own stuff, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. There should
Yeah,
be room for that.
Would you say those 2 ladies are probably the most talented of those bands that you named?
It's tough because I mean it's like, there's chart success, but does that mean you're the most talented person in the band?
Not necessarily. No.
The Pixies are such a distinctive thing, and
It's pretty obvious who the most talented member of Maroon 5 is. Okay.
I think it's auto-tune.
Pretty obvious.
Isn't that who the most talented member of Maroon 5 is? It's the computer that tunes his voice.
Okay.
Music's just different now. Sorry.
Okay.
Are you talking about the drummer from Maroon 5?
I am not, sir.
You're talking about the bass player, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Another bass player. Like Kim.
Yes.
I found this story to be interesting today, Carl. I really did.
Thank you.
And if you have more, please tell us. Please share with us if you have more, because I'd love to hear it. I need to be cultured, as Victor had told me.
When's it my turn?
Never, Victor. Go away.
I'm surprised you'd never. Well, I'm not. I was like, I bet that this might be a kind of an off-the-wall choice. So I was kind of trying to go for a deep cut.
Yeah, you really did. Cindy and I both have not heard of this band, and I'm glad. Actually, Cindy, I'm going to listen to this band. I probably listen to the Breeders probably more so than I will.
Listen to the album Doolittle.
Doolittle by the Pixies. Okay.
And skip around if there's a song that's challenging for you. There are some on there that might not be. That might be a slow burn for you because some of them are. They go from like extremely noisy to very poppy. Sometimes within the same song. Like we were talking about Smells Like Teen Spirit. One of their trademark moves is going from like really quiet and melodic to really loud and aggressive. Like you heard Gigantic, it's pretty muscular in the chorus, but the verses to that song are quite nice.
That was the first song or the second song you played, Gigantic?
That was the first one.
The first one.
The chorus.
We heard the woman's voice.
One better. Yeah.
You did? You like the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Here Comes Your Man. Everybody
Yeah.
likes that song.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Who got
basically.
to who got to write most of the songs in, like, was Kim allowed to write songs, or was she just like,
Charles Thompson was the main writer.
but
He
was
was.
Kim allowed to write her own stuff?
No,
Did she write her own stuff in the band called the Breeders? Did she write her own stuff?
No, he made her. He wrote those too. No, of course she did. Whenever she went solo, it was her songs. That'd be funny if he was like, "No, writing your own songs and your own side project."
No,
I'm
but I meant
writing
like, I didn't
those
know if
too."
another band member had written songs for her, because a lot of artists write songs for other artists, saying,
There
this-
might. I
this
think there are some songs that maybe people contributed from that band. So there
Mm.
might be some songs that are Breeder songs that are written by the bassist or.
And I know Victor would like this because Dolly Parton wrote a song that later was sung by another artist, and it became popular because this other artist sang it. So I didn't know if the Breeders,
she wrote a lot of songs.
that she did.
Jolene, Jolene.
That's the song I'm referring to.
You better be
That's
referring
the one
to.
you're referring
And
to?
I will always love you.
Oh, she wrote that one too. Yeah.
That's the one I thought you were going with, Goose. I thought you were going to talk about that one. I didn't know who covered Jolene. Were we talking?
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, well, when I hear that, I always think there's this White Stripes cover of Jolene. You ever heard that one?
Yes, I've heard of that one.
I don't. Okay, I've heard the band White Stripes. I don't know if I would know their song White Stripes. But anyway, let's get back to the Pixies. Let's get back to the Pixies and the throwing souls.
Jack White and his ex-wife pretending to be brother and sister. Very weird band.
Was it really?
What's up with that, Vic?
It was him and his wife pretending to be brother and sister.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that made up the band White Stripes. Seriously?
Yeah, that was the White Stripes.
Oh wow. That was around that time. White Stripes were around that time too, right? Right around the Pixies and the.
No, they were later.
Oh, they were later. Okay.
They were later.
Oh. Well, that was interesting, sir. Do you have anything else that you could add to us? Maybe give us, Cindy and I, a little bit more knowledge before we go and play this band.
Do you have any more questions? Pixies related questions?
I would have a ton of them, but I don't. I don't know if I want to go into all that, sir. Okay.
Are we doing Mellencamp?
You said the band was formed because the two of them went to school together at the University of Boston or Massachusetts.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Where did they meet Kim, and how did they bring Kim in the band? Because this is interesting to me that they didn't let Kim become a star in that band.
Well, they had like this big batch of songs that I guess they formed the band with the idea that it was going to be, Black Francis's band, that he was going to sing all of them. And then they just so happened to write a song. He had come up with like chords for a song, and she wrote the melody and the lyrics to it. So it kind of just so happened that she happened to add a song to their debut album. But was your question about how did they meet Kim?
Pixies created. What?
I think
It's a candy.
when were the Pixie Sticks created? Pixie Sticks from Chicago with their classic song "Lady."
Lady. Oh, Kenny Rogers.
Oh yeah. What are some other Styx songs? There's Mr. Roboto, of course. There's the classic tune.
That was one of their favorite ones. But
why hasn't anybody ever come up with a tribute band that plays Pixies and Styx? Both bands,
So what would you say the Pixies?
Not a good idea.
A band that sounds like the Pixies, or maybe got their influence from the Pixies. What's the band that we would know that maybe got their influence from the Pixies?
Oh man, pretty much all the alternative bands from the 90s.
Like you said, all the alternative ones have really stole that.
Weezer, especially.
Weezer sounds more like them than anyone else that you would say.
Yeah, it's very Pixies-esque. I'd say Toadies. They had kind of a very Pixies sound. Silver Sun Pickups, like Vic said.
You ever heard of the Toadies, Cindy? The Toadies? No, I haven't either. I've not heard of the
They did the
Toads.
song Possum Kingdom.
They
Don't
did
know that one.
indeed.
I don't know Possum Kingdom.
Oh, it's one of the greatest songs ever. You know it.
You know it. If you heard it, you'd be like, "Oh, I knew this one." Just the lyrics don't. It's one of those songs where you hear the title of it and you're like, I don't have any idea what that is. But then once it starts playing, you're like, oh, I've heard this 900,000 times.
Carl, do you have any vinyl? Do you have any
I have
vinyl records?
a little bit of vinyl, not a whole lot, really.
There was a guy that used to be on the show named Rocky, and he would do his when he was on the podcast. He'd be sitting in a room, shelves just full of vinyl, and he'd be pulling them out right and left and showing them to us. That was
Oh,
kind
yeah?
of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It really is. I think, Carl, that I think did you enjoy your segment, sir? I know that I did. I got to learn a little bit about the Pixies, really.
Yeah, you've got a new band to listen to, Goose. You got to check out.
I think I got several bands to listen to be honest with you. The 4 bands that you mentioned to me, I am going to give them a listen.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, you've got a lot of listening work to do, sir.
I do. What is it when you listen to music, guys, Cindy and Carl? What is it that catches you, or what is it you're really listening for? Are you listening for the lyrics? Are you listening for, like you said, the harmony that they had? Are you listening for, the instrumental talents, abilities? Like, what captures you when you're listening to an artist? And what captured you with the Pixies, I guess, Carl? I'd ask you first. What captured you with the Pixies? What drew you to them?
Vocal melodies and lyrics, definitely, and the texture of the way their songs are put together, and just there's a lot going on. They have they've got a weird song structure kind of system, and some of their songs are in Spanish too, because Charles Thompson, aka Black Francis, spent 6 months in Puerto Rico, my beloved Puerto Rico, just prior to forming Pixies. So they've got maybe 5-6 songs that are primarily lyrically in Spanish. So if you're not fluent like me, you get some of the lyrics, but not all of them. So the vocal melody kind of jumps out at you. That's a nice change, so you don't have to be absorbed in the lyrical content. But then there's a song like Motorway to Roswell, which has great lyrics that are extremely powerful. And then the music's in a completely different vein than something like Officer Feroza, where it's very punky.
So if you were going to introduce us to a song by the Pixies, Cindy and I, that perhaps we're going to listen to, what song would you say, okay, to become a fan of this band, I would want you to listen to this song, Cindy and Goose? What song you say, okay, to become a fan of Pixies, you'd say, this is the song I would like you guys to listen to first. And then maybe you get into them.
What is the Pixies song?
Well, no, I'm saying, what song would you recommend to us for the first Pixie song that we hear? Maybe to introduce them to us and to become a fan, like maybe perhaps you are.
Where Is My Mind?
Where Is My Mind is a song we both should listen to.
Yeah, go for it. You should do it.
Okay. I will do that, sir. And I'm sure that Cindy will probably give it a try as well. Right, Cindy? I know that you'll try it.
Yeah, I wrote it down. So,
okay.
That one, I'd like to answer that question too. When I first hear a song, though, I usually listen to the lyrics, but then later on, it's the beat or the music that might attract me, because, you just hear a little bit and then, okay, that's this song, and especially if you're out somewhere, it's a song you like to dance to, even before they say 2 words, you already know what it is. Boom, boom, yeah, this is what we like to listen to, so. Yeah, but I like the lyrics. I think that's probably my favorite.
A new group. Holly says a new group, kind of weird, but like their music. Main Skin Song. I Want to Be. They are punk. You ever heard of that, Carl?
No, I like being exposed to all these new things.
I'm hoping that you would do that on this segment for us, sir. I'm hoping that you do that for us.
I'm sorry, Goose. I need to do better next time.
No, you did. No. On the contrary, sir. Cindy, I don't know about you, but look, you introduced us to 4 new bands that we've never heard of. And we're going to go listen to the Pixies. As a matter of fact, Cindy wrote it down what she's going to listen to, because you recommended it to us. So you introduced us to 4 new bands.
if there's something you find challenging, which I'm sure there'll be some songs on there that you're like, whoa, that is way too aggressive, just skip around and you'll find something you do like. Because they have some songs that'll, feel like they're possibly going to rip the skin off your face as they go by, because they have some pretty intense ones, but especially off their first album. But there's some catchy ones too.
Read this, guys.
Music has to make sense to me, and because I'm a little OCD, I prefer music with regular time signatures, odd or ace. Oh, I'll say that rhythm messes with me.
I
Yeah,
could see that.
Yeah.
I would think that maybe newer music might be kind of pleasant, because a lot of times, like I feel like the older music sometimes is the one that has the odd time signatures, because there's so much computer used in music now that unless
Which
you're
is what you were making light of earlier, saying
yeah,
about Adam Levine and his stylish.
yeah, it's all over music though. It's not Adam Levine's fault.
No,
And there's
no.
plenty of stuff I like that does use auto tune.
Mm-hmm.
We can't all be Vic, and have those golden pipes.
And introduce Pixies to the Springfield area. So
Exactly.
they all can be victors.
Not
we
all of us are
try.
victors. Maroon 5 needs help. They need the auto help.
So they need to be introduced to Springfield, maybe. Victor should bring them. Give them maybe a push. All right, guys. This has been Goose Troop with Carl's very interesting segment. I found it interesting. I hope that you did as well, audience. Thank you, Cindy. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you did. Dude, I would love to revisit this segment, sir, as many times as you would like to bring it back. And like you said, if you keep introducing us to band like the Pixies, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I certainly, as Victor had mentioned to us, Cindy, just to us, that we need to start being more cultured, right? And that Victor told us.
Well, I knew I would have bet money Carl would have came to with something I'd never heard of. But,
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Cindy.
See, that's a compliment to him. You're not insulting him, right, Carl? That's a huge compliment to you.
That
Just
is.
it's different. Yeah.
I mean, I'm no Goose, but
well,
I'm trying.
Then
Do
again,
the best I can over here.
No Goose. What?
No
I don't
Goose.
know what you mean by that. I don't know what he means by that, Cindy.
Just got the name of the show in his name.
I would expect this is what I'd hope to see you do, Carl. You did this kind of genre, and then maybe next time something different. Just kind of skip around. You know what I mean? Something just hopefully I mean, maybe next week you come back with the Archies. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing something different out.
Yeah.
Something
The
like
Archie's reference. The Archie's reference.
Not the Archies. I got you. I know all kinds of different stuff.
Now, are you a fan of country? Either one of you guys, are you a fan of country music? Like, is
Absolutely.
there? Okay,
Absolutely.
so you are a fan. You're a fan. I'm a fan of some of it. How about what say you, Carl?
I like
a woman. Come on, I know you like that one. You and Bruce like that one.
It's catchy too.
Yeah.
Catchy
But is there a genre where you don't like, or is there maybe a style you don't like or not interested in at all? Maybe not interested in. Like, I don't like a lot of heavy metal stuff. Like, that's the type of stuff I cannot listen to. The heavy stuff. I'm like, whoa, that just sounds like noise.
Some of the stuff that now I don't know. Like when I was younger, the girls would always have the Tiger Beat magazine and different, girly, magazines they put up on the wall. The latest hot heartthrob. That was always cool.
Yeah.
One of those kind of things like that.
So he could come up with the behind the music.
Family. I think when I was younger, it was like the Partridge Family. Trying to think who else.
Was mine
Bobby
behind the
Sherman,
music?
David Cassidy. I just can't think right now, but different ones.
Dude, I think everyone in the chat room enjoyed the segments we did today. We all had interaction from all of them. Everyone in the chat room must have enjoyed all of our segments. They primarily liked teasing me, but listening to your segment, Carl, listening to your story, Cindy, as well, from your critique of the restaurant, they enjoyed that. Guys, I know that I enjoyed today's show. I will probably go back and listen to it maybe once or twice. Guys, I appreciate every week that we come on. I appreciate both of you coming on with me and being a part of Goose Troop. or today we should call it Cindy and Carol podcast. The Cindy and Carol featured podcast today, I would say, right?
And sir, you're too kind.
No, I think everyone enjoyed it, Carl. I think if you the more you want to do this segment, you have it. I know you got my vote, Cindy. What say you? I know he's got my vote. If he wants to continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Cindy, if you got my vote because the segments I've given you about the story of hope, you did really well with, and I thought the segment today you did really well with. So I think any segment that you want to come up with, Cindy, I'd love to hear it. And guys, I think it was an entertaining show today, as well as Victor even added to the show. I thought for once he actually added to the show, giving us more knowledge, right? He gave his background history.
Yes.
He also made fun of me and then also critiqued while you're sitting next to the bathroom, right?
And he was not offered a segment on the show.
Victor, you're not part of the show.
Notably.
You're not part of the show, Victor. Okay. After the show, we're gonna take a vote. After the show, we're gonna take a vote whether Victor can be part of the show. Can I already predict what you guys are saying? Let me break out the crystal ball, Victor. Not likely.
It wouldn't matter how we voted. It wouldn't.
He'll still come on, guys.
He'll still come on.
All right. I know that it's getting close to Cowabunga time for you, Carl. So I know I want to end the show. It is getting close to Cowabunga.
Wow.
And
Went
Cindy,
fast.
it's getting close to for probably lunch for you, I'm guessing. Probably lunch for you because I know I haven't eaten yet. So, guys, I thank you so much for doing the show today. It has been another episode of Goose Troop that we call Goose Troop for now, but it was really Cindy and Carl's show today, and I thought they did an excellent job. I thank you all for listening to us. We will join again next week if all of our schedules work out, right? Correct? And Cindy, I missed Saturday trivia. Did you want to do trivia tonight, possibly, or is there another night that works best for you? I know we can't do it Tuesday, Wednesdays, and
What
Thursday.
time were you wanting to do it?
Maybe we can do two. Maybe we can do two shows: one Friday night, one Saturday night, if you want to. Maybe we can do one Friday night, one Saturday night to make up for the week that I lost. So, up to you. Let me know. Let me know in a text. All right, guys. This is me signing off. I will wave goodbye, and Carl waves goodbye in his.
Hey, we need some music. Where's our going off music?
Where's our leave me with the little pixies. I'll just like maybe.
Oh, you want Pixies?
Dude,
All
leave
right.
me with some pixies, man. I gotta hear some pixies. I
Whatever
need
you
more
want.
pixies. Just like you need more cowbell, I need more pixies.
You do.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everyone continuing and to listen to us. I know we do a different style of show, right, Cindy? We do a different style of show that's usually on the network, but I enjoy doing it, and with the two people I do it with. One more than the other, who doesn't side with Victor. That one I really enjoy doing the show.
Oh man, we're taking a turn. All right, you want some Pixies?
Who likes to sit by the bench room?
He's never gonna let you down. He's never gonna let that down.
It's the truth. I'll own it. Yeah.
It almost sounds like our theme music, doesn't it, Cindy?
There's no way I would be influenced by the Pixies.
You know, every time you think of the Pixies, I think of the Girl Scouts or the Brownies. This seems like one area they should be involved with.
All right, guys.
Or a cookie that they stole.
I'm sorry, Cindy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. All right, guys. I will say next week. Tune in another next week. And Cindy, let me know if you want to do trivia tonight, or maybe, like I said, we can do it Friday and Saturday.